is up, everybody, and welcome back to episode 40 of the LoofCast. I almost called it the old name again. I'm really bad at this. But hello, happy Halloween. Welcome to October 31st of 2023. I hope for all you who are listening to this before you go trick-or-treating or do whatever you're doing for Halloween, I hope you guys have a great Halloween. If you're listening to it after, I hope you guys had a great Halloween, and happy November if you're listening to it in November.
Yes, because we are definitely recording this on Halloween. Today is Halloween.
October 11th.
Isn't that
12th for him.
12th for me. Yeah, because
we have
context, I just got off of work.
Yeah.
This guy's about to leave town.
For complete context,
12:48 where I'm at.
It's almost 1 a.m. for him. It's almost 10 p.m. for me, and I need everyone to understand how last minute this recording is. We were supposed to get these done last week, and then shit just kept piling up for both of us. And I for context, I'm going on vacation right now. I leave October 12th. I leave literally 24 hours from right now. And I'm driving my ass down to LA for 3 days, then driving to Death Valley for 3 more days, then going to Vegas for a week for TwitchCon, and then going to Lake Tahoe for 2 more days so I can camp out. So I literally am about to leave on a 2-week vacation in 24 hours, which gives me exactly 24 hours to edit this recording. This is gonna go great.
Or just send me the footage.
That's also true, but I can get it done. I got this, dude. I can do this. I like pushing limits. But either way, hello. Welcome back to the Halloween episode, the second ever Halloween episode that we've had. And today we have kind of a little bit of a different itinerary from last year. But before we get into that, how you been since the last episode?
Yeah. So I applied for a new job.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully they'll call back by the end of this week. Because my job is miserable.
Yeah.
I work with people. I was telling Luci earlier, I work with people who defend R. Kelly.
Yep.
I'm not going to name the reason why, but yeah.
Yeah, those types of people.
No excuse for that.
No.
So, yeah, no, not a great work environment around me.
That's fair.
As soon as I leave the place, I'm not going to say it yet because they're still paying me. But as soon as I leave there, I'll call them out. All right.
That's valid.
And we will have a company to attack. No, please don't attack them. I don't want to get sued.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'll tell you this. If we're talking about work, I have had the most disastrous weekend I have ever had at my job. And let me fucking tell y'all. So, if you don't live in either Florida, Texas, or California, you probably will not have heard of this event. But for those who don't know, there is an event in several coastal cities called Fleet Week. And what Fleet Week is... what Fleet Week is essentially it's a giant, they bring in some military fleets and stuff, and they have some giant air shows with this group of planes called the Blue Angels. Now, I need y'all to understand that I work right near where Fleet Week goes on. So I obviously am doing parking lot duty because it's something that I'm good at my job. It's not my job title. I am generally inside the store I work at. But since I was the first person to ever really go out into that parking lot and devise a plan for it, it's kind of been added to my role. So sometimes I'll be taken out of my department and put in the parking lot. I'm just asking. What the fuck was that?
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
But sometimes that's what I do. Now, I need y'all to understand. This weekend at work, everyone was kind of told and agreed to. They were all like, "Hey, we should all probably not drive in because everybody's going to fuck off our way, and then fuck off again out of our way once the Fleet Week starts and ends." So we were gonna have traffic going in, we're gonna have traffic going out, and when I say traffic going in and out, I mean I was biking up a steep ass hill faster than most cars were moving. And that hill was about 3 miles, or not 3 miles, sorry, about 1.5 miles long. So
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so I'm biking up that fucking hill faster than the cars are moving. But here is where it gets fun. Saturday morning, I decide, because I don't have a bike, I decide to skate into work on a skateboard. Now, keep in
Oh
mind,
no.
I live 7 miles from my workplace in the middle of San Francisco, which is the hilliest city in this fucking state.
Yeah.
So I skate 7 miles across the city. And as I'm going down, mind you, to when you get to my workplace, right in between there's this giant fucking hill, right? So you have to walk up the hill, and I was gonna skate down it. Now this is a steep ass hill to skate down. For any of you who've ever seen like those longboarders who like wear gloves and like are usually bombing hills, I've done a little bit of that before, and I had my longboard with me, so I thought, fuck it, I don't have the gear, but I just want to get this shit out of the way. And I didn't want to walk all the way. So I decided to bomb the hill. Let me tell you right now, stupid fucking idea.
Yeah.
Here's the other problem. Is most of the time the reason they wear gloves is so they can put their fingertips or the palm of their hands on the ground. Like whenever they're slowing down and stuff, just for a little bit of balance. I don't have my gear, which means I can't do that. So I'm going down and I try to lean back like to stop a little bit, and I fall off the back of my board. So I fall off backwards. Thankfully, I have a backpack on, so that takes most of the impact, because I'm going pretty fucking fast. So I fall off the board and I like roll down the fucking hill. My board hits the sidewalk and like fucking and just ends up stopping. And I roll down the fucking hill maybe a good 20, 30 feet. Now,
Lucy, how do you like listen? My friends that know me as the guy who gets into accidents, like just either doing stupid shit or just shit happens to me. How are you more accident prone than me? That is honestly a miracle.
I will tell you this right now. My doctor questions how I'm still alive. And if that doesn't say something about me, that like, I don't know what does. But it gets worse, right? It gets worse. I crash off the board. I roll a good 20, 30 feet. And mind you, I am completely unharmed except for a couple bruises, miraculously. But something happened when I had crashed. My car is a push to start car, which means it's activated by a key fob. And during that crash, that fob snapped off my belt and went flying. God knows where.
There it goes.
God knows where. Now, here's the. It gets worse. It gets worse.
Hang on. Wait, hang on. Sorry to break this up. Our recording bot just disconnected.
Lovely.
From the VC that we're in. It's dead. Craig has died.
Is it actually just fucking...
It's literally dead. I'm sorry to interrupt the episode. He'll continue with the story in a second, but...
Oh my god, it is dead.
For context, we use the Craig bot to
record the VC.
Recording. Yeah, it's like a backup. And, yeah, it's just dead. It just fucking died. Yeah, I think it's...
I got him in here.
Oh, there it goes.
I got him in here. We're good.
All right.
But, all right. Anyways, back to the story. So, I need y'all to know this one skateboard crash avalanched into a world of fucking problems. Now,
I really did.
So, I get into Saturday, right? And this isn't like this isn't a direct like fault of the skateboard crash, but it's a funny thing nonetheless. I'm managing parking, and while it's all happening, some idiot decides to park in our fucking bus lane. So the bus can't get around his car, tries to, and gets stuck. So the bus gets stuck. It can't move. Now, about 15 cars piled in behind this bus, and they're all stuck now, too, because nobody can back up properly. Now, keep in mind, a second bus now comes in and blocks those 15 cars from all backing up. So that bus is now stuck. And, we're trying to manage it. We're we're telling the drivers to get on the phone with Muni and stop the other buses from coming. And a third bus shows up and gets stuck behind that second bus. So I have one bus, 15 cars, and then 2 more buses stuck in the parking lot, which are now effectively blocking the front of my store. And we literally can't do anything. We can't call tow trucks or anything because the tow trucks won't be able to make it through with the bus and get out with the car. So we're just kind of fucked. So that took about an hour and a half to 2 hours to resolve, and then we finally got the buses moving. And by that time, we had rerouted bus traffic, called the police, and called tow trucks, which was a disaster. And that was the Saturday shift for parking. Now, here's where the shit snowballs into the wrong shit. Now, I go to work Sunday and I'm in parking for a little bit and it's all fine. Everything's all well and good. And everything's going fine. There were a few hiccups. There were people who almost ran me over, you know, some people who just got pissy and angry with me and I just like started yelling arguments to them out of their cars just because they wanted to be a
Oh, you have to
jackass
do that?
after I would tell them like, hey, no, the parking lot's full. Find a different fucking spot, buddy. And that would be it. And people almost hit me several times. It was that, and planes would be flying, like these jets would be flying over my head at like 200 feet up, like a few times, which was terrifying. But yeah, now it really didn't get bad until Monday. Now this is where that skating crash snowballs in to the disaster of a weekend. So now, I didn't have a key fob for the car, right? So it's understandable that I would assume the car cannot fucking move, right? That it cannot be driven anywhere, right? Okay. And now here's where it gets worse. Nobody told me this, but somebody grabbed my car and was going to get key fobs made for me, since I'm leaving this week. Now, here's a little fun fact about my car. It has LoJack on it, and my phone gets a notification every time that car moves without me unlocking its location.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting at work. I'm at the registers helping people. And all of a sudden, my phone buzzes and is like, hey, your car's in motion and you haven't unlocked it. And me being at work, knowing that nobody has a fucking key fob for it, just immediately assumes somebody's stealing my car. So what do I instinctively do? I report my car is stolen to the app that tracks it.
No.
Now they call SFPD. So they're now actively tracking my car as it's going across the city. And I have no fucking clue that they're taking it to get new key fobs. I am unaware. And I know what you guys are thinking. Like, you know, this probably could have been solved with a simple fucking text, but you got to remember, I'm also at the register doing my fucking job. I can't leave the floor for 20 minutes to like call a bunch of people and be like, hey, where the fuck is my car? And like, you know, it was a much simpler solution for me to just hit the button saying, hey, theft recovery mode, my car has been stolen. Because I don't have the keys. Nobody has keys for it. How the fuck is it moving? You know?
Yeah.
So I text my neighbor and I'm like, hey, can you look and see if my car is out there? And they're like, no, your car is not there. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I reported it stolen.
Of course.
So, you know, the LoJack people, they call SFPD and they're like, hey, here's the information. This car has been stolen. If you guys would not mind tracking it. And I'm just like, oh, great. Yeah, so it's really fucking bad. But I'm completely unaware of this. Now, it gets even funnier as time goes on because the cops call me 2 hours later and they're like, hey, we found your car. And this is, mind you, this is when I still think it is stolen. It is at a car dealership. So at first I think, is somebody trying to sell my car? And I'm like, hey, can you guys just tow the fucking car and like take it to an impound lot or some shit? Now, that starts a problem with the Toyota dealership that it's at while they're remaking keys. So that is now a disaster. And the whole time, I think that it's at an impound lot. Like, I think the police have towed it. Turns out they did not, and nobody fucking told me anything. So I don't pick up my car that night because I just have to go home. The next day, I found out it hasn't been towed, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And, you know, it's a whole disaster and everything. But I get the car back from the key fobs. SFPD and the theft recovery people are obviously not happy with me in the fucking slightest. So yeah, that's been my weekend.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like it's been fun.
Yeah, I just need y'all to understand as well. This all happened in the span of 72 hours. So
yeah. You know, at this point, you see, I may have like a low reaction right now. It's just because I'm not surprised anymore by what
here's the thing, I'm not
either.
either. It was the funniest shit that could have happened, but it was such a fucking disaster. Like, basically just between like all the parking accidents, me crashing on my skateboard. I also got in like 2 bike crashes over the weekend just because I was stupid. But like, just on top of that, like, you know, communication is important. If you ever have people like helping you out with things, make sure that you're talking about it. Otherwise, you know, you might report your car as stolen, have the SFPD like chase it down. Um, and yeah, and I don't know, it'll just be a fucking disaster. Mind you, this is the second time I've reported my car is stolen because at one point it got stolen on my college campus.
Oh, you love to see it.
Yeah, well, the weirdest part is when it got stolen on my college campus is it. They didn't even like take it. They basically stole it and moved it to a different lot, and that was it. Like it
That
was
doesn't
just
sound suspicious at all.
no, not at all. It was just in a different lot when I found it, and I was like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, so that was my weekend effectively. But
let's get into the topic at hand.
Yeah, getting into the actual topic now. We're gonna be talking about some stories from Halloween past, pretty much. And you know, it's gonna be different than like last year we did like ghost stories or just like really creepy experiences we've had. This is more so just gonna focus on the actual date of October 31st. And I have a very good one to start out with.
Yeah, I'll let you go first. Mine's a little long.
All right. This one isn't too horribly long, but anybody who knows me personally knows that I am a little bitch. And that my immediate reaction to being scared is to take a swing. And like that's not like just anything that I've learned. Like my immediate thing is like if somebody scares me, like grab my shoulders or anything, like if I know I'm in a safe area, I will either just jump or freak out. But if I know I'm in a potentially unsafe area, my immediate reaction is just to be like, all right, fuck it, and I will just start swinging. Now, this is probably one of the dumber things I've done, but I was in a haunted house at one point. Obviously, unfamiliar territory, and everybody's also in there with you, you know? So I'm going around, and they have these scare actors that at the time I was unaware of, but they actually are walking around the place chasing you down. I thought they were just hiding in their own areas. And this poor fucking scare actor, like bolts at us from across a room, and I don't see him at first, but my friend sees him, and I don't remember like who spotted him first, but like one person yelled out, and my immediate thing was I turned, and he's like maybe 3 feet from me. So what is my immediate reaction? I socked that poor dude in the mouth.
Oh my god!
It was really fucking bad because it scared the shit out of me. Like I saw him and he's charging me, and my immediate fight or flight reaction just shows fuck running, and I just fucking punched him.
Oh my fucking god!
It was really embarrassing, but like my immediate friends that are with me, like just witnessed me fucking sock this like fucking scare actor. And all of them are like, yo, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
He's like, to be fair, we are in a haunted house. I should have expected that. But I socked this poor dude, and he goes like basically crash into the ground real quick. I didn't knock him out or anything, but you know, I did kind of knock him over because he was chasing at us, and then I basically just punched him sideways. And I immediately I realized what I've done. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? What, like, that was incredibly stupid. Are you okay? And like I'm like freaking out, apologizing, trying to figure out if the dude's all right. And he just kind of gets up. And the best part is he's just like, it's not the first time it's happened, but I need you to leave. And I'm just like, that's fair. I'm out. I'll leave.
Yeah.
So it was honestly pretty fucking embarrassing. But nothing too bad came of it. Like the cops weren't called or anything, thankfully, because that did count as assault. Because that does count as assault. But yeah, he was understanding. He was like, it's not the first time. I get it, like fight or flight, but like I do need you to get the fuck out of this haunted house because like you are a danger to the other actors here. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. So he walked us out, and I was like, all right, that's fine. And I am still banned from that festival.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's about right.
Yeah, I am blacklisted from that festival. They will not let me back in there, which is deserved. But yeah.
I have a like a short little tidbit to add to that. My dad recently acquired tickets to Hollow Scream, which is
what is that?
So at Busch Gardens, they make the whole, you know, it's kind of like what they do at Universal.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, so I was like, Dad, are you sure you want to do that? Sure you want to go to Hollow Scream? Because let's just say I have scared him before. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, there was one time he was mowing the lawn, or no, he was trimming weeds, and he had his earbuds in. I came up behind him and tapped him on his back, and he almost laid me the fuck out. So I was like, "Are you sure you want to go into a scary place?" And he's like, "No, we're not going into any haunted houses. I think I'll be okay." I'm like, "Okay,
Okay, if you say so, buddy.
if you say so." All right. Well, I guess it's my turn. Buckle your seats, and this is all alleged. Okay, this story is you know what? Matter of fact,
Allegedly.
this is a story about my friend Steve who did this. You know,
Allegedly, I punched a guy in a haunted house. I should have started with that. I shouldn't have just blatantly admitted to assault.
yeah. All right. So my boy Steve, right? Steve and his friend. All right. We'll call him Alex. All right.
Steve and Alex.
We went
Minecraft.
Yeah, so it was now I won't lie, this is kind of cheating because it was technically October 30th and not October 31st.
It counts.
But it's close
Halloween.
enough. It's close enough, and you'll see why. So I was in Atlanta at the time. I think I was like 12 or 13. And in Atlanta, they have one of the scariest haunted houses in the world, Netherworld. Now, what it will say on the website is that it's opened in 1997, right?
Yep.
But what they don't tell you is that they actually moved buildings. Steve, used to look. God damn it. All right, you know what? I'm just dropping that. I used to live next to the old side of Netherworld. All right. So
that sounds cool as fuck and terrifying at the same time.
You see, it's cool until I tell you this story.
Oh no.
Me and my dumbass friend decided, hey, let's go check out the place because there's no one there, right?
Oh no.
It's literally just now an abandoned warehouse.
So you guys just straight up were like, fuck it, we're gonna go urban exploring.
It's the only time I've been urban exploring, and all right. So we didn't know what to expect, right? Because we figured, they moved all the props out and shit, right? Because they moved it to the new location.
Plot twist, right? They didn't.
Yeah, nope, they didn't.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So it's literally like, and when I mean behind my house, you go through this, 800 feet of woods, and the warehouse parking lot is right there, right?
Oh,
so we walk in. Yeah, so we walk in, and we try to find like a door that's open or anything like that. Nothing was open, right? So, at least on the ground floor. Now, I was thinking with my big brain, probably shouldn't have thought about this because we would have never gone in there. But I was like, hey, wait a minute. There's a ladder over there to get to the roof.
No.
I wonder if there's roof access to this place. So here we go, climbing up. It's about 3 stories tall. There isn't actually 3 floors, but that's just how tall the building is, right? So we climb up. And we find a hatch, and it's not locked.
Yep.
They never put a lock on it. So, first, we did act a little smart because we knew that they might have like security alarms.
Alarms in the hatch.
Yep. So we literally opened the hatch, stuck our hand in there, and like waited 5 minutes just to see if anything would happen, right?
That's fair.
I dropped a rock in there just to see if they had motion detectors right where it was. Nothing. Nada. Not a zilch.
So that's a smart thing to do.
So we're like, yeah, exactly. So we go inside. We climb down. This hatch kind of led to like this maintenance room on like the top floor. And the only thing on the top floor was the maintenance room, and then there's a stairwell to get there, right?
Yeah.
So we walk in, and Oh god. So we walk in. The first sign of maybe we shouldn't be doing this. The stairwell lights were on.
Oh, yeah,
Like
fuck
the
that.
building still had power. Now we didn't. Now us being young, we just didn't really think about that. So we were like, it's probably fine. You know, it's just the emergency lights, right? Yeah, no problem. So we head down the stairwell and head into the building. And like I said, plot twist, we thought all the props were gone. Plot twist, they weren't. So we walk into this gigantic room full of all of these creepy like clowns.
Oh,
Creepy
fuck.
props everywhere. It's not clowns. I don't know why I said clowns.
That's
But it's
fair.
just a shit ton of creepy
Shit ton of your
ass
worst
props that
fears,
they
pretty
had
much.
from the... Yeah, right. And the only light we have is my flashlight, like an actual flashlight. So this is like straight out of a horror game.
Literally, yeah. Fuck that.
So we walk around, see a couple of the monsters. We're not really talking because we don't know. Again,
I mean,
this
it's
is
one of those
not the
scenarios
best
where you
part of
don't.
Atlanta.
It's one of those things where you just don't say a word because you're always just like, okay.
Yeah,
Like, we don't want anyone to
this
hear
isn't
us if
the...
there's someone else in here and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't the best part of Atlanta, so we kind of thought maybe there might be someone in here
Yeah.
just in case, like someone homeless or something like that, right? So we're walking around. We walk around for about 30 minutes of just looking around, looking at all this stuff because everything was taken down and wasn't in place.
It was just in
So
a
it was
room,
pretty
pretty
much just like
much.
a... Yeah. But this room was gigantic. I'm talking like 100 feet one way, 100 feet the other.
Yeah.
Just gigantic room. Um so then we get to this part. There used to be like a rail ride in there. We get to that part of the place, right?
Oh,
And
no.
obviously we didn't want to power it on or anything, right? We
I mean,
didn't know
yeah.
what we were fucking doing.
It would
So,
also been, like,
and
been extremely
90%...
dangerous to do.
Yeah, most of it was already it was taken apart anyway. So we walk in here, we walk towards the rails, and this is where the dumbfoolery started. Um, this is about the time where, like, talking to spirits and like Ouija boards were kind of a thing on YouTube, right? And that was the trend, right?
Yeah.
So my dumbass went, if anyone can hear me right now,
Oh, no.
make your presence known. It was silent for about 10 seconds, right? And then I think my friend went to go ask another question, and all we hear is
Oh, no.
like just a literally loud slamming noise, like behind us on the far side of far side of the warehouse.
Yeah, fuck
And
that.
we're like, so we both freeze. We're like, because the issue is, what I haven't mentioned yet is that where we just heard the noise is where the stairwell is.
So somebody just shut the trap door.
We do not know. We At this point we have no fucking clue what that was.
That's my guess.
And yeah, so we started whispering to each other like, "Oh, what should we do? That either sounds like a person, or did we just get a response?" I was like, "I don't fucking know, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't know what to
I
do.
don't know
Fuck
what to
that.
do." So we just kind of sat there for a couple minutes, just kind of letting time pass, just in case someone was walking in here. And then all of a sudden we hear
And that's
literal
footsteps.
footsteps with like boots, heavy boots. And that was when we were like, nah, no, it's time to go. No, we both booked it.
Yeah, nah, I support that. Fuck that shit.
Because unlike the noise from last time, where it was coming from across the warehouse, this was coming from behind us. And we were like, no, We
Time to
booked it
leave.
right to the door, went up the stairwell, and got out to the trap door. We open it. We open it, And we're still thinking it's daytime because we didn't think time didn't pass that much, right? And
It's pitch
we didn't
black,
have
isn't it?
I didn't have a phone at the time. It's pitch black outside, dude. It's been
Oh.
3 hours.
Oh no.
What the fuck was that?
Talking about that sound?
Yes.
That's a
Truck
motorcycle.
going.
That's
Oh
a
my
motorcycle.
god.
And you know what? If you're
scared
wondering,
the fuck out of me.
if you're wondering why that's a motorcycle, it's because my neighbors suck.
Dude, it sounded like the way the tone that it sounded like there was like a low pitched church bell. Like just boom. That's why it scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, we're getting murdered. No, but yeah, no, dude, fuck that.
Anyways, we get out the trap door. We start to climb down the ladder, right? And we start to go to the woods to head back because we didn't want to take the road just in case anyone saw us, right?
Yeah.
So we go back towards the woods, and right before I enter the tree line, I look back at the place. Lucy, one of the doors was open from the ground floor.
Yeah, fuck that.
I don't know who it was, and there was no cars in the parking lot, so it was probably not security. No idea what happened that day.
No way.
So we just took off and went home.
A 3-hour response would not be optimal for security. Yeah, fuck that. I would have been gone. Like, I'm gonna throw in a little tidbit right here. This is not related to the topic at all, but urban exploring, like, it's so fun, but it is so fucking nerve-wracking too. Like, like testing for alarms is a really smart fucking thing because if something goes off, you need to fucking bolt immediately. And like, I'm just gonna throw in like a really quick like 30-second story about that here. I have been urban exploring before a couple times, and at one point we did set off an alarm, and it was the most terrifying experience of my life.
Because they're so loud, dude.
No, literally, that was the thing. So like, I can't even describe like just how loud this fucking alarm was. But we were exploring an old abandoned apartment building. And the thing is, we didn't think there were any alarms in there because we checked the entire first fucking floor, right? That first floor, nothing went off at fucking all. Like there was not a single thing. So by the time the alarm goes off, we were on like the 13th floor or some shit. Like, I don't know. We were higher up. We were high up. We were in like the second half of the building up there. And all of a sudden, like, you know, somebody just fucking walks through a door and the most high-pitched alarm starts going off. And it scares literally, yeah, that. And it scares the living shit out of me. Like, I at first for a second thought like the fucking fire alarm was going off or something. But no, we tripped the motion sensor. And the only reason we know that is because we can see one all of a sudden on the fucking ground that someone just walked right through and broke. So
yeah, now
there's a motion sensor alarm going off. And we're like, okay, it's either calling a private security firm or it's calling the fucking cops. We have to fucking leave, like right fucking now. Now, mind you, we are on like floor 12 or 13 or some shit like that. So, like, it's a building without fucking elevators and shit like that. So basically, the only option is time to sprint down the fucking stairwell. Yeah. Now, reason this is the most nerve-wracking thing. And thank God, by the way, this building was connected to another building via a sky bridge. And that sky bridge is on like floor 5, but we get to around like floor 7, and like one of my friends stops us, and we look out the window, and there are fucking like security cars pulling up. So immediately we know we're kind of fucked because security has just gotten to the front of the building. And if we go out that way, we are fucked. Like, they're going to catch us.
Yeah.
So we bolted across the sky bridge, pretty much still running. There's an alarm going throughout the whole fucking building, by the way, that we're, like, sprinting through. And we got away without, like, any trouble. But, like, it's the most terrifying thing you could think of. Like, imagine just being in an abandoned building that's, like, not even that close to many other things. And then that alarm goes off, and you know you have, like, maybe 4 or 5 minutes max to get the fuck out of there before security or the cops show up.
Yeah.
Like, urban exploring is so fun and I love doing it, but it is fucking terrifying. Especially because also, like, honestly. Yeah, because also, like, another thing, like, aspect to consider is, like, you know, what if there's not a security system? What if there's no cops or security? What if there's just some random fucking dude who walks in? Like, yeah, you might get murdered.
Yeah, straight up.
Like that, the
Homeless
dude who walked in
people,
there could have been a serial killer.
yeah, like homeless people are very territorial, especially when they're in places like that. So like it's not uncommon for like if someone's living there to them pull a weapon out on you.
Yeah, no, it is very common. Like, thankfully, I've never run into any of that urban exploring, but I've heard many fucking stories.
Oh yeah.
But
Uh,
back to the fucking topic at hand. This is more of a funny
yeah,
story than anything else.
yeah. I'll
Um,
let you. Yeah, we'll go a little bit more lighthearted. I'll let you go first.
yeah, this is a bit more of a lighthearted story, but if anyone ever knows like these the haunt slider actors, um, and for those who don't know what haunt sliding is, basically they have like metal attached to the front of their legs or some shit like that, and on their hands, and basically they get to run, like they run up at somebody, but then like the metal attached to them, the plates, basically allows them to glide across the ground over sparks. So it adds a pretty cool flare effect for like, you know, scaring people, and a lot of haunt actors use it.
That's fucking terrifying.
It is terrifying, but it's so cool. And there's a very popular video on the
Mhm.
internet. I'll for the video watchers, I'll play it here real quick.
Are you gonna tie your shoe yet?
And for the audio listeners, basically what a quick description of that was is basically this actor slid right up to this person. Basically, it was like, because this person was tying their shoes on the ground, this haunt actor slid right up to him and just started kind of like freaking him out a little bit. It's a very cool like thing, and I absolutely love people do it. And it's something I've really wanted to do. Like, I've practiced for it before, but I would love to be like a haunt slider as like a seasonal job. I feel like that would be so fucking fun. But so I was at a festival. I don't remember which one this was, but it was like they had haunt slider actors going around.
Right.
And this was more just like of a lighthearted thing than anything else. But you know, I didn't kick them or anything. Thank fucking God, right? But I was just kind of walking around, and this fucking like haunt slider tries to come up and scare me. They slid a little too late and ended up knocking into me, which is pretty funny. Still scared the ever loving hell out of me, but they also knocked me over. So yeah, they just kind of like bumped my fucking leg and I tripped. But at the same time, you know, I just fucking heard this giant scrape across the ground to my right, and I just hear I hear them like yell out something. So it scares the shit out of me, and then I trip. The most terrifying, like, you know, experience I've had while walking around a fair like that, but it was just really funny overall.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
I don't remember how loud I screamed, but I definitely screamed pretty fucking loud. Um, and then I tripped, so I'm on the ground and I'm like fucking panic crawling away for a second. Because at this point, I think like something just tried to grab my fucking leg or something like that. Because I mean, you know, most people who are scare actors who try to scare you aren't like people who are half your size. And also for context, this was before I knew what haunt sliders were, so you know, great introduction. Um, but yeah, no, it was fucking horrifying. Absolutely, she was an absolutely lovely person, but God, she was fucking good at her job.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are gonna think lesser of me because of this story. I just thought about it. Oh my God.
He stole candy from kids.
Well, yeah, kinda.
There's no way I got that right.
Okay. I didn't steal it. Just hear me out, okay? Hear me out. All right. So, I was splitting off. This was the last time I ever went trick or treating. I think I was 14, right? So my neighborhood is pretty nice. This was in Florida, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to go to a neighboring neighborhood because it's like the rich neighborhood, and they give out like full size candy bars, shit like that, right?
That's fair, yeah.
So I went over. I went over to the to the richer neighborhood, and a friend of mine was going to meet me there later. Now, this our two divisions like subdivisions, they kind of connect together on this one road, right?
Yeah.
Like, so there's this one road that goes to like the main. It's not like a highway, but it's like a main road, right?
Yeah.
And then you just basically go across the street, and you're pretty much there, right? So I went there first, right? But I knew my friend was going to come here eventually. So after hitting up a couple houses, kind of scouting out the place, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna scare the shit out of my friend because I know what costume he's wearing, right? And I'll hide behind this bush and just wait for him, right? So I get behind the bush, and I wait there for about 10 minutes ish, and then he texts me, okay, I'm on the way. I'll be there in like 5 minutes, right? So I wait about 5 minutes, you know, for him to come by, and he's wearing Michael Myers costume, right?
All right.
Now, mind you, my brain didn't think, hey, other people would be wearing a Michael Myers.
Yeah, I was gonna say
costume.
that's a pretty common one.
Yeah, so I see this Michael Myers coming, and I'm like, okay, this is probably him. It's about the same height and everything, right?
Oh
So
no.
I'm just waiting. They get close, and then I go, oh booga booga booga, like just trying to mess with them. Turns out it was a
Not
girl,
him. Oh
and
no.
she freaked the fuck out, dropped everything she had in her hand, and just took off. All right, I mean, gone.
I mean,
And
free
I
candy.
That's the thing, bro. She took off, left her entire candy. She had like a, one of those pumpkin pails, right?
She's like watching this podcast right now. She's like, that motherfucker.
Yeah, motherfucker. And then my friend shows up like literally 5 seconds later,
Oh
and I'm
no.
like, "Oh, you motherfucker!" And so I waited there about like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes to see if she would come back, right?
Yeah,
'Cause I
apologize,
didn't
give the
just want
candy
to
back.
take the can. Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to just take the candy, but she never showed up.
I
So
mean,
I
how old
mean,
was she if you had to
there's
guess?
only I don't know.
How old
The
were you and your
sound of her
friend?
voice, I was 15 and he was 14.
I guess she's probably
Um,
12, 13 if they're on the
excuse
same
me.
height then.
I was 14. Excuse me.
Fair.
But yeah. Yeah, so we
12,
were
13 probably.
I think she was around the same age as me. So I just feel so bad. Then she never came back, so I was like, well, I'm not just going to leave this candy out for the ants.
Yeah.
I guess we'll take it home.
Well, accidents happen.
Yeah, I mean, shit happens, man, I guess.
Yeah.
I.
If we're on the lighthearted side, I do have a couple stories from this really cool maze that's actually near me. It's this.
Yeah,
it's
we
this,
could probably do those two stories. I'm starting to fall asleep over here.
That's fair. We'll run these last two, and then we'll call it an episode.
Yeah, sorry for the short episode. It's just late at night, and I literally just got off of work.
Yeah, but I will say, this is. Hang on one sec. For any of you who live in the Bay Area, or if you've ever visited and been to a town called Half Moon Bay, there is an awesome pumpkin patch right near there, and I'm looking it up right now, but I can't actually. Hang on one sec. And they basically got this giant fucking maze. I don't remember what the hell it's called. But basically it's this awesome giant like hay bale maze, and they've got some of the best design I've ever seen in it. But essentially, like, it's this. I don't know how large it actually is, but it's easily, maybe 1,000 feet across and like 300 feet wide. So it's a big fucking maze, right? And they usually let people run around through them. They've got this like little Minotaur arena in it, and whatnot. And it's so fucking cool. Now, the best part about this maze is they actually have a watchtower over it, and they have to have a watchtower because idiots keep climbing the walls and running across the roof of the maze. And I will admit, I was one of those idiots at one point.
Nice.
Yeah, it was kind of stupid of me. This is just one of the really funny stories I have from that. But I noticed they were changing
Yeah.
watchtower guards, and since there's only enough room for one person up there at a time, the other guy has to climb down. So I noticed him climb about halfway, and I thought, "Fuck it, now's my chance." Um,
Right.
because I still had not solved the maze once in my life, and I was like, "Fuck it, this is my chance to get like a good lay of the land." So I climbed the fucking wall like an idiot, and I'm sprinting across like the things trying to get like a good lay of where's the exit, where the fuck am I, and how the fuck do I get there? And the other person starts climbing up the tower, so I've gotten maybe about 6.5 seconds till I'm spotted. Um, Now this is probably just kind of stupidity on my part. I'm not paying attention to where the entrance of the maze is, so as I'm running across these, like I notice the other guy is like slowly kind of getting on the ladder, and they haven't spotted me yet. So I have at this point I have maybe about 2 seconds till I'm spotted, and I'm just like, fuck this, I have to get down before they see me, and then I'm getting kicked out of this pumpkin patch or some shit. So I get to the edge of one wall and I jump down. I jumped into the entrance path. So what that means is the people checking people in at the entrance of the maze saw me jump off the top of the wall.
Oh no.
So I basically look at them, they look at me. Nobody has said a word yet, and I book it back into the maze. Because at this point, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm all in or all out, right? So I book it into the maze, and I'm just like, fuck it, I gotta go, I gotta just fucking pray that they don't come looking for me. Thankfully, they didn't, and nobody got in trouble for it. But that was that. There was also another year where somebody tried to get on top of the maze, and they actually knocked one of the heavy ass hay bales off the wall. And it came crashing down into the pathway that I was heading towards. So that was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was stupid. I had to climb over that hay bale, but yeah. I will say the really cool thing about it is there's actually no way. I have solved the maze like 3 or 4 times now. But the coolest thing about the maze is the only way to actually beat the maze is they have a secret door built in that's actually pretty fucking hard to see. That you have to go through, and that splits the maze in half. So unless you get to that secret door, you cannot get to the half where the exit is. Unless you obviously jump the fucking walls. But yeah. But it's a really cool pumpkin patch. It's like a giant thing. They have a haunted house. They have they have this little like petting zoo area. I don't remember what they had in the petting zoo. I think it's goats, but I could be wrong. But yeah, they have like this giant like cornfield as well, like these tractor tours and a giant pumpkin field too. It's an awesome place. And I mean, I don't care what anybody says. This is like my own fucking personal opinion about Halloween. You're never too old to celebrate holidays. You're never too old to be a fucking kid, all right? Like dude, even as like a 22-year-old, I would gladly take some friends there and just have a great fucking time. Because I don't know, you're never too old to screw around on Halloween. You're never too old to like not do something anymore just because you've aged. That could be taken out of context, but you're never too old to be a kid again. There we go.
Yeah,
that's a good word for it.
That's for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think we're good to wrap up there. Sorry, this episode is really only about like half an hour to 40 minutes. I think if my timing's correct, but yeah, we're a little tired. I have to get all my shit ready because I'm leaving in about 22 hours now.
Yeah.
Oof's got to get some sleep, and we've got to do some more podcast prep tomorrow for the rest of the episodes for this year because I am gonna be gone for the next 2 weeks. But yeah, other than that, we'll probably have a TwitchCon debrief episode at some point, which will probably feature Swift because I'm meeting up with Swift for the first time.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, so we'll have like a little TwitchCon debrief episode, and I'll get to talk about it. But yeah, other than that, what's the usual outro? I'm sorry, I'm so late. My brain is so tired.
Here, I got you.
Usual outro.
I got you.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys download, add, follow, like, whatever the fuck it is on whatever platform you are. The podcast, if you enjoyed. Both of our links will be down in the description. We both stream. He streams way more than I do. I'm, figuring it out. I got things I want to stream, but we'll get there.
Takes time to figure it out.
We also have the Q&A link. If you want to ask us questions, we usually check those before the podcast starts.
Yeah.
Just to see if we have any questions. And yeah,
ask us some more stuff. And then also the podcast guest link. If you guys want to be guests in the podcast, fill that out. It's not a guarantee, but it lets us know who wants to be on it, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, hit all the buttons, check us out on all the platforms, and we will see you all on November 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good rest of your day, guys. Peace out.